What's up? It's Gabby Diaz, and guess who is here with me?
It's Rich Brian.
What's up?
I'm back.
How are you? How's life?
I'm great. Thank you for asking.
You've been so busy.
Yeah, I've been a lot busier recently because of this album.
So how was the process for the album? Like, where do you start, I guess, for that? Because you've been kind of gone a little bit.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
It's like when you go in the studio, you're like, okay, I want to make this. What's the process?
It's definitely it started with like me not really knowing that I was gonna make an album.
Okay.
It was like was me.
Was that frustrating at all?
Definitely. I went through like a 4-month period where I just couldn't make anything. I just I had the craziest writer's block.
Yeah.
And like it wasn't even me being uninspired. It was kind of like me overthinking, and just like every single time I start a project, I'm just like, oh, is this too whack, or like is this too not me sounding?
Yeah.
And I would think so far about the release, and I would just like be too scared to start anything.
Right.
And then one day I just kind of like, I was at my friend's house, and then he was like, yeah, you want to make a song? And then I'm like, yeah, sure. And then we just made a song for fun, and it wasn't really that good, but I was like, oh, we just made a full song.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized, like, you know what? Now every time I have like any idea, and like the slightest idea of the song, no matter how it is, I'm just gonna like finish it, and I'm just gonna make a full song. And then I started doing that, and then I realized I'm like making, you know, like 3 or 4 songs that are actually better than the stuff that I used to make. So I'm like, you know, I'm gonna start an album now.
Yeah.
And so those tracks, when I was making them, those like first 4 or 5 tracks, I was like, at the time I was like, oh, this is really good. Mm-hmm. But then I met up with Bacon and the Donuts. So these guys are like executive producing this record with me, and I made more stuff with them, and then like those first 4 or 5 songs that I made, I was just like, it's not that good anymore. And that's kind of like,
I think might work a little
exactly,
better.
yeah. And that's kind of just like how it is every time I make an album. And there's always those like first like kind of 5-10 songs that I make that are just kind of like, they're not gonna make it to the album because it's kind of like the process of finding the sound.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, do you feel like you had to like, I don't know, I guess have this perception after the first record? Like, do you feel like, okay, I have to like be this person that maybe I thought I was, but I'm not? Like, you know what I mean?
Definitely, at first, yes, but I realized I'm like, you know, my mindset when I was making this album was very different. It was like,
well, you've grown.
Right, yeah.
Like, and you're in the business now, and I think you learned certain things, right?
Mm-hmm,
for sure.
Definitely, yeah. Even just like from that tour that I was in last time I saw you, I learned a lot from that tour, you know what I mean?
Imagine.
And yeah, I think when I was making this album, my mindset was a lot more like, okay, if I put this album out, it's gonna be out there forever. Mm-hmm. And you know, I haven't put out music in a while, so it's like, you know, I was kind of like, I had that thought of like, okay, if I do this at like this certain sound, like, is this gonna sound too different from me? But at the same time, it's like, what am I exactly? You know what I mean?
You gotta like experiment too.
Exactly.
And you know, it's so true what they say, like, if you don't feel passionate about the music, then your fans are going to pick up on that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So if you want to try something new, I think your fans can't be mad at you about that, because obviously, like we said, you're growing as a person. It's just kind of crazy, though, like, how growth happens, right? Like, how it just kind of hits you, or life,
really,
like, whoa, it was like 2016, like 5 minutes ago.
Exactly.
What the heck happened?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Are you planning a tour?
Yes, I am.
Nice. Is anybody gonna be on it with you?
We're still deciding.
Okay.
But there will be somebody. Yeah. But it'll be a U.S. tour, and starts in October. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, October is gonna be.
How's the like response overseas? Is it crazier
overseas,
than U.S.? Like, if you ever just perform overseas in general, like anywhere.
Yeah.
I always hear that from like different artists that performing overseas is so different from the US. They're just crazy.
I think just different places have different kind of crowds. Performing in Indonesia is always crazy because that's where I'm from.
Yeah.
And you know, Australia is crazy. Europe is like they love to like, the crowd in Europe is just crazy. They would like mosh pit to like the slowest songs that I have, like the super chill songs that I'm like, how do you mosh to this? You know what I mean?
Like, are you guys okay?
Yeah, exactly. But I love it. So yeah, I think it depends on like where it is, but it's always different kind of crowds everywhere.
Yeah, no, for sure. Even in the U.S., like even when you like here in the Bay, like everybody's so cultured and there's just so many different ethnicities, but we ride so hard for the people we're fans of. So it's like, I think people like pick up on that, or artists pick up on that
Definitely.
when they come.
Yeah.
What other like business ventures do you want to get involved in? The body language change. I love that.
I wanna get into. I wanna open a restaurant one day.
Okay.
Something like that.
What kind of restaurant?
Indonesian food.
Nice.
Because I cook a lot, and like when I'm in,
okay.
yeah, like because when I'm in LA, you know, I miss Indonesian food, and I can't find really like good Indonesian food anywhere, and I just I just ask my parents for recipes, and I would just make it myself.
Nice.
And it's really good. It's really
Pretty
good.
good.
It's really good. And I know, like if one day, you know, there's a food truck or something like that, or there's like a restaurant, it'll probably pop up.
Oh, that'd be super
But
dope.
I just don't know if I'm, you know, ready for
Right
that
now,
yet.
you got
right
other
now, I'm
stuff you gotta worry
exactly. And I also want to get into like acting and stuff like that.
Dude, that needs to happen.
I really want to do that.
No, it needs to happen. Like, I
so-
could totally see you on TV or even a movie. Like,
Yeah,
for
thank you.
sure.
Thank
I
you.
think, like, Netflix or Hulu's going to holla at you or something. Like, it's going to happen eventually.
Exactly.
Well, we're excited about the new album.
Thank you.
I'm excited for you to go on tour. And you got, like, this crazy, like, festival thing coming up.
Yeah, so Head in the Clouds.
Yes.
It's a festival by 88 Rising, and it's going to be August 17th, and this is our annual festival. This is our second one.
Yes.
And yeah, the last year festival was insane, and this one's going to be a lot bigger. And
Now, I know you like guys do it in LA, but I think you need to do it here in the Bay.
Yeah, we're gonna start to do it in different places.
Okay,
yeah,
good. That's good to
but
know, because I feel like the Bay would show out for 88
yeah,
Rising,
definitely.
like, for sure.
Oh yeah,
It'd be
absolutely.
nuts. All right, well, make sure you check out The Sailor. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
It's always love when you come through, and I'm going to be looking forward to that food truck eventually.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Peace.
Peace.